Something's wrong with George. A story about loss. George and I have breakfast together every morning. George is my goldfish. I like to eat fruit and yogurt with a little drizzle of honey on top, and George likes to eat fish food. My brother is going to teach me how to skip today, I tell George. What are you up to? George seems a little slow this morning, but maybe he's still waking up. Have fun swimming around. You're the best, I tell him, and I make a swimming motion with my palms together. That's how we say I love you. My brother Krish and I practice skipping up and down the driveway. A step and a hop and a step and a hop. We chant as we go back and forth. All that skipping made us both hungry, so we go inside for a snack. I can't wait to tell George about my progress. I hurry over to him, but he's not swimming like usual. He's hovering just above the bottom of his tank. His mouth is moving only a tiny bit, really slowly. I'm worried about him. I'm going to take such good care of you, I promise. Let's start with a hug. My arms reach almost all the way around George's tank. Maybe you just need a nap. I cover George's tank with my softest, fluffiest blanket, and I set my timer for 15 minutes. Have a good sleep, I whisper. When the timer goes off, I check on George. He still doesn't look good. We move him closer to the window. Maybe that'll help. I try showing him some books with pictures of happy, healthy fish so he knows he can get better, but he won't even look. Nothing is working. Krish, something is wrong with George. Krish comes over and peers into the fish tank. He looks kind of pale, Krish says softly. Let's keep a vigil, Krish suggests. I learned about this in school. It means we'll watch over George while he's not feeling well. We run to my room and bring back pillows, blankets, and my stuffed bear. I let George rest while I color and do my puzzle, but it doesn't work. I keep thinking, George, George, George. My heart keeps beating, George, George, George. Then Mom comes over and looks into the tank. Her expression is very serious. Is he doing better, I ask? Kyra, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, but I think George is dead. What do you mean he died? I mean his body has stopped working. What do we have to do to make him stop being dead? I ask Mom. I stare at George and I think, don't be dead, don't be dead, don't be dead as hard as I can. I think he moved, I say. He's moving. Mom looks closely. Oh, sweetheart, I can see how it looks like he's still alive. The water is moving around him and fluttering his tail a little bit, but he's not doing it on his own. And his eyes have turned gray. His body has completely stopped working. That's how we know he's dead. There's nothing else we can do for George. Maybe he'll start moving again tomorrow, I ask. Mom shakes her head. No, Kyra, you can't make something stop being dead once it's dead. When George's body stopped swimming, eating, and breathing, it stopped forever. Oliver from school has a dog that got sick, but then it got better. Why couldn't my fish get better? I start to cry. I love George so much. Death isn't fair and it doesn't always make sense. Some pets get sick and recover, some get sick and die. I will say that goldfish don't usually live for very long. Just a year, maybe 2. You're lucky to have known and loved such a special fish. I'm so sorry, Kyra. I know this really hurts. I feel like I want to cry some more, but I don't have any more tears. Let's have a funeral for George, Krish suggests. We can put his body in this box and bury him in the garden. Krish and I decorate the box. It feels good to do something nice for George. I draw a picture of him and Krish writes, "You were a good fish, George." We use a net to lift George's body out of his tank. I want to look at him, but I also don't. Being so close to something that's dead makes my tummy feel fluttery. I look for just a second before Krish sets George's body inside the box. Then the whole family goes out to the garden. I dig a little hole next to the birch tree. I think George will like it there. Kyra, would you like to say something about George? Mom asks. I love you, George, I say, and a couple of my tears drip onto the ground. You were such a good friend and so fun to talk to. I put George's special box into the hole and scoop some dirt on top of it. I miss him already. Goodbye, George, I say. You'll always be my first fish. Krish places some of the coral and shells from George's tank next to where he's buried, so I know the right spot. I visit George once in a while and tell him what I'm up to. I'm going to get another fish as soon as I'm ready, I say. I think I'll name them Lucky.